The story begins as a newly born kid is born into this world, having the good half of the nine tails inside of him. Don't ask me why he has it. It's for entertainment purpose, okay? Now he has a bit of Senju. Well, he's like 25% Senju. He is extremely good and anything physical. That's like he's, let's say, hypothetically, he's 4 years old, right? He has the strength of a 6-year-old. Yeah, maybe even a 7, maybe even 8. I think, okay, the story begins as a young boy is born with and then him getting the good half of the nine tails sealed inside of him. Okay, his name is Riku. His chakra natures are fire, lightning, and earth. Yeah, fire, lightning, earth. Those are good. He has less. He has a lot of chakra, less than Naruto, because he's a senju, and he has photographic memory, and he's a prodigy. Well, sort of a prodigy. He has photographic memory, and that only he has to only look at it once, and then he can learn it later, and do it some other time. So that makes him a prodigy, and sort of in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like he isn't. He can't learn YouTube real fast, but like in a test, he can remember like what they were doing, stuff like that. Easy, no problem. So as you were saying, a time skip. He is 4 now. He is still in a adoptive thing, a foster home. Yeah, he has a family, which beat him a little, like beat him, treat him bad, even though he's just look at this dude. He's handsome as, you know what I'm saying? He's handsome as fuck. Any girl would lucky maybe have him. You see that? He's 4 years old. He's shorter, but he has the same looks and stuff. Um, and when he was 4, the Ninetales started talking because he felt bad for Riku, which anyone would. He's getting beaten by his foster family and treated terribly. Uh, the Ninetales caught him into his mindscape, which is do you see the background? Yeah, like that. It's water, trees, nice looking, because that's what he remembers when he was born. He was that thing. That's where he was born, sort of. Yeah, I don't know how he remembered, but like I guess it's just in his brain. So the Ninetales has no cage, no cage. Like he can't get out, so he can take control of Riku, but he never did for some reason. He took a liking to the boy. So after he talked to Riku, Ninetales talked to Riku and said that he has a friend that could help him out if he wanted to. Riku said, "Yes, please. I don't want to be here anymore. They treat me terribly." He also has an older sister, which is 2 years older than him. They're not blood related. They're not blood related. You know, he's adopted. So then, Naruto, the Ninetales, Kurama, which Riku now knows his name. Kurama called him. Now knows his name. Uh, he's he summons, not summons. He asks for his help. His friend named Blaze. Yeah, Blaze. Uh, and so and Blaze, using some teleportation magic, teleports Riku into in the dungeon, which it was created by Blaze, but he can't destroy it. He made it by an accident, which there are tons of monsters. Blaze can handle them all easily, but he never did because he didn't have the time. He was doing some research on immortality, which he already has naturally. Riku's there in a dark thing, and Blaze uses some magic and makes fire in his hand. He can light up. He tells Riku that if he wants to survive in the outside world, he has to survive in here, and kill all the monsters for him. And then Blaze said, "If you come for me, I don't care how long. I have all the time in the world. As you kill them, I will let you leave and know that you passed and you can survive in the outside world. If you eat them, you will gain their magical abilities." So Riku understands, but he still hesitant. The Night Tailor says, "Don't worry, I'll be here to help you. I'll teach you all about chakra control and how you can use it to make yourself stronger, faster." So Riku's like, he's thinking about it in his head. Kuruma's, still like in a pool, like sort of thing. It's like a lake, and Riku's just sitting down on the side on a tree with shade, and he's thinking about it, and he's like, I don't want to go back, and I have something here. I have, Kuruma. He's like, so he says, yes, I'll do it for you and become strong, and then I can leave. So he says, okay, then, you know, and he does it. And then, as right after Blaze leaves, he leaves him a sword. A sword which has magical properties enough to kill the monsters. No one can kill a monster without using some magical abilities. So, he picks up the sword and Kurama says, "Don't hold it like that, it's bad." He teaches him how to hold a real sword after seeing many, many battles. He teaches him how to hold a real sword, and the monster is the size of a bear, okay? And Riku just runs as fast as he can, which is outrunning the monster. And the Kurama's like, "Don't run, you have to kill it." And it's like, and Riku's head like, I don't think I can kill that." "Yes, you can. This sword can can kill him with no problem. Just chop off his head, and and the thing will die." So Riku's like, "Okay, I'll trust you." So he runs, and before the monster can even react, Riku just slices his head off, and then Kuruma says, "Look, you need to make a fire and cook it so you can eat it. You don't have to. You don't have to eat it. You won't eat it raw now, will you?" It's like, "How will I make fire?" "You have to channel your chakra into your hands and use fire release." And then after a couple tries, a couple 20, 30 tries, he does it, and and he cooks the meat. Cooks the meat, and he eats it, and then he feels pain all over his body and his heart. His hair used to be black from essential DNA, but it turned white. His eyes were already like that, but his hair turned white, like that kind of white. Still a bit of brown in it, you see, and turns white like that in the picture. And so he says it hurts, and it's like, "Don't worry, you won't die. You can't die. You have me." And Kuruma start giving him chalk for healing them. He doesn't die, but it still hurts. Okay, then he does this for the next couple of years until he's 11 years old. And in that picture, he's around 11, maybe 15. I don't know. This is someone else's picture. I didn't make it. Shout out to them. Then a couple years later, Riku has different personalities. He has some outbursts. He's killed many monsters and he become more of a monster than they are. He's now about to kill the final monster in the dungeon, which is very powerful. Blaze even has a bit of a hard time. A bit, even though he can kill it. Just a bit of hard time. Riku has now a lot of magical abilities, and his sword is chipped and almost about to break. And Blaze gets her. It's like, "You can't kill that with that sword." And Riku's like, "Then what am I gonna kill it with?" Riku, in a nice, gentle manner. Gentler than my voice. My voice is very raspy, as you can tell, even though I'm only 13 years old. So Blaze gives it a scythe. A scythe with more magical power than that old sword. That regular sword. It gives him a scythe. Well, you've killed many things by decapitating them, so this seems like a nice fit, Blaze says. And so because can you make it white so it can match my hairstyle? And so he makes it white. It's like a bone, it's like white and a bit of gray in the area. It's badass. I couldn't find a picture, and I'm not very good drawing, so use your imagination. So then he's about to kill the final boss, which is like the size of 3 buses on top of each other in the same length. That's how big it is. And Riku's like, this won't be a challenge at all. And Blaze is like, "I wouldn't be so sure." and then the monster just rushes Riku, body slam, hitting him straight to the wall, making Riku cough up some blood, which angers him, and this gives him his other personality, which is so just a meaner, more bloodthirstier version of himself. He's still funny and stuff like that, but he just he's a little crazier and kills more often and enjoys it. The other Riku, same personality. They don't have the same personality, but they're still the same person. He just has some outbursts where he gets super mad and goes on a killing spree, which is a good thing in the inside the dungeon. So a couple minutes later, he got hit again, and he gets even more rage and starts using his chakra to enhance his abilities. He also has a seal. Nah, he doesn't have a seal. He doesn't have a seal. Well, sort of a seal. He uses to go to channel Kuma's chakra without all of it without getting burned from the nine-tail cloak. That's a really good bonus. And with that, and then he kills the monster with a lot of trouble. And then he cooks it, and he eats it. He eats all of it, like he does. He noticed that if you eat more of the beast, you gain more of their abilities and be able to do it like they did, which which was pretty cool, you know. And then Blaze, I have a gift for you. Gives him a grimoire. It's like, here, this is for you. You can learn even more magic spells now that you have mana and and abilities that only you can do that you didn't learn. You ate the monsters and you gained their abilities. You didn't learn, but now you can even learn even more spells and create spells if you're smart enough. And then gave him this book about how magic spells work and how they do them. He also gave him another grimoire, and he gave him the grimoire that teaches him magic spells on, water and other, like, light and darkness, able to teleport through the darkness, immunity, stuff like that, immunity to certain, things like water or fire. And he saw this one spell, which not a toxic spell, but, like, a good thing. And he's like, ooh, this could give me immunity to the things that the chakra I have. Well, it didn't say chakra, but that's what he thought. It's like, that's magic he knows. So he's like, oh, transmit chakra and he took advantage that Blaze was there. And he asked, you think I can do this to the chakra natures I have? It says immunity to the magic I've mastered. So do you think I could do that to my chakra? It's like, I don't know why not. Let me help you with that. Because Blaze is impressed. He thought the kid would take even longer to learn to beat the dungeon. He was impressed, so he's gonna do a reward. So he teaches him a spell, and it's like, here, use it on yourself, and then you gain immunity to your chakra nature, which was fire, lightning, and earth, which was really cool. And so that's what they did. And Riku's like, now it's time for me to get out of here. Yes, but one more thing Blaze says, and Kuruma says as well. You have to be careful what you show people. They might think you're a threat and try to kill you. You are the Grim Reaper. You have that scythe. Here, this what's this? This is a costume. So if you ever need to kill someone, and you say someone is watching you and you don't know it, which I doubt you will not notice. It must be incredibly good for you not to notice it. We got really good at that these couple of years, being 7 years and all. Yeah. So just in case, here is a suit, which gives you a grim, which is a jacket he's wearing, but just so he can cover his face. And here's a mask that can cover your face and gives him a Grim Reaper thing. Like his eyes, you can see the eyes, but he's like a skeleton face. He looks like a bit like the Grim Reaper without, the long sleeves and the robes. And so that's what he looks pretty cool with it. And so it's like, and Riku's like, what about the promise you made? And he's like, I'm getting there. Just one more thing to say. Sorry about that. And he says, one more thing, Blaze says. And he hits him in the head chest, giving him a magic seal that can do a certain thing depending on the user. And Riku sees this, what is this? It's like, this is a magic seal. This will help you use your magic abilities to a more precise, doing more magic. Like you being able to use the magic without this is very impressive. But now that you have it, it'll make using magic a lot easier and make you use less mana in making the spells. Here's another book. Another book? Yes, here is a book full of jutsus. Yes, a book of, usually you have scrolls, but scrolls are not my thing, so I transferred it all into a book. Didn't bother putting a lot of water and wind jutsus in there, and those are not your chakra. Hey, now I'll be able to learn jutsus and magic. Like, yes, you're welcome. Now let me time to, this will be the time I describe the abilities that Riku has, which he has a lot of abilities. He has killed many monsters, at least 100. Took him 7 years, and every time he killed one, he got stronger, but the monsters also got stronger, making it even more difficult to deal with. The abilities he has are... Give me a minute. I wrote them down. Abilities he has are regeneration, and that is an ability that his senju DNA helps him with. But using magic, and depending on how much magic he puts in, it makes it even go faster. He also has Genesis, meaning he has the ability to create lesser beings from his own body. He also has telekinesis, psychokinesis, pyrokinesis. He has a lot of kinesises, which is, yes, it's an ability that monsters had. And, they have geokinesis, manipulating the earth, and more specifically rocks that he also make. Like, he has terrakinesis, manipulating landscapes, teleportation to the earth. He also has umbrakinesis, manipulating the darkness and shadows, and he can brew shadows, He also can teleport using the shadows. He has a lot of other ones, but that's it. He has a lot of kinesises, yeah. And if you really want to know details, I put something on our own, comment down below, giving him, the details to it, which is going to be very long. I'll just post a photo or something like that. And now it's time for him to go back to the village. He doesn't walk into the village. But he's like, I would let you walk, but people don't know you. So he teleports him right at the spot where he left. The place where he took off. He just gets there he's right in front of his house. The house that he lived in for a couple years. The house where he was beaten and mistreated. He walks back in, and his foster parents are in shock. His older sister's even more shocked. She's thinking, wow, he's so handsome. What happened to his hair? Why is it white? Or gray? I think it's gray. Yeah, and also a bit of brown. And she's thinking, wow, if I knew he was going to be that handsome, I wouldn't treat him so bad. And she walks up to him and saying, where have you been? It's been 7 years. And he says, remember what Blaze told him. You should say something that you got kidnapped, or you don't tell him that you ran away, or that I, got you. So Rico's just, okay, he lies bluntly, but no one can tell he's lying. Or, he's like, I got kidnapped. It's like, where were you this time? It's like, I don't know. It's been 7 years. It's been 7 years. And he looks at his own body, pretending like he didn't know. And he looks at it. He's like, "Wow, this is what I look like." Well, sort of not pretending really. The dungeon was dark, and he didn't want to use chakra or mana to light it up. So his eyes just got used to being in the darkness. And it's like, and he looks at himself. He's like, "Whoa, I've grown so much." So he has the jacket that Blaze gave him, which just looks pretty cool if I do say myself. And he says, and he continues the conversation, which I completely forgot where I was. Oopsie. This is on script. And so he just So they continue the conversation. His foster parents being absolutely mad, and he says, "You're not my foster child anymore. Right after you left, we unadopted you because we thought you ran away. So we're not your parents anymore." And Rico's like, "Fine, I don't need you." So he goes and looks for an apartment, which Blaze, and being a good, friend, which him and Blaze are a good friend, even though Blaze is like 1,000 years older than him, even more. He's like, "Here, I'll give you some money for the time being until you can get a job," or something like that. He says, and he's like, "Thank you," and he looks for an apartment, and he finds the cheapest one. And he's thinking, I need to find the cheapest one. It doesn't have to be big. It's only me. And so he uses he has a pocket dimension. So he pulls up the pocket dimension and just puts his hand inside and pulls out the bag of money that Blaze gave him. And he goes to the person who's keeping the apartment, and he's like, "Here, I would like to rent it." And he tells him how much it is, and he pays, like, "You have to pay me the next month." It's like, okay. And Rico checks how much money he has left in his, and he's like, "This is barely enough." And he's thinking, "Oh, I never went to the academy." So Rico's also like, "I don't have to pay for food. I can just go hunting." And he's like, "All I need is something to drink." So he goes to the store and buys a lot of bottles of water and just puts them in, unrefrigerated, because he only has a bed. Well, he doesn't have a bed. It's more like the things they use for camping, like that. It's like, like, he doesn't really need a bed. He slept on the floor, cold, hard, rock, solid ground. He doesn't need a bed. He hasn't used a bed since he was 4, and even then, he barely got to use that bed. He was mistreated. And so he goes to the academy and says, "Is it too late to sign up?" And Iruka-san says, like, no, it's fine. We just have to see where you're at, and you have to, like, learn more things. And Riku's not surprised about this. He's like, "Well, I didn't sign up for the last," he's counting how many years. It's because you were supposed to enter the academy at 8 years old. It's like 9, 10, 11. To 3, he skipped it for 4 years practically. And yeah, practically 4 years. So he's like, "Okay, what do I have to, do?" And Riku's like, "You have to pass these tests, and we have to make sure you know this and that." And Riku passes all of them, no problem. He's pretty smart, even though, like, he used premonition on him. Like, he used his magical abilities to check what were the answers and just cheated. And with, he also needed to show his skills on shuriken and kunai, which wasn't really a big problem for him. And so he passed, and he was like, "Tomorrow you show up." It's like, and Riku was just, "Okay, I'll show up tomorrow." So he goes home. Well, he was about to go home, but then he hears his stomach grumbling, and he's like, "There's a forest over there. Let me go catch some fish, or a deer, or a bear to eat, or anything, really." And he finds a rabbit, and he runs after it, not using any of his real powers, and just catches it, no problem. And he kills it, and he makes a fire, and eats it, and then right after that, he sees an old man, which is the lower third, but he doesn't know. The lower man is just there. He was looking for Naruto, they don't know where he is. He's been missing for a couple of days now. In reality, Naruto was just camping outside. He didn't want to go to school. to the academy. So Naruto, you sees Riku. It's like, oh, I've never seen you here before. And Riku's like, I barely got back to the village. And he's eating and his rabbit. He asked, "Do you want some?" And the Naruto is like, I could eat. And Riku gives him a piece of his rabbit. And Naruto eats, and then he continues walking to find Naruto just to see if he was here. Okay, now let's go. Fast forward tomorrow, he sleeps, blah blah blah. He wakes up, he has a bit of a nightmare, thinking that he's gonna get eaten. And Kuma's like, "You're fine, you're fine." He's just remembering about how he almost died many, many times. But Kurama never let him, thanks to his regeneration abilities. Never let him. So it's the next day Riku's walking down the hall and the girls notice him. It's like, who's that kid? What grade is he in? Riku, you can't tell what he aged. He can look 12, he can look 13, he can look 15. He's actually 11. But he's a bit tall for his age. So he can look like 13, 14 maybe. Like, not that tall. He's taller than Sasuke at least. And he just walks into his class and everyone's looking. He's like, who's that? And what's he wearing? He's wearing his jacket, you know. It's like, yeah, not they don't say what he's wearing, but like they're just wondering who's that, like why is he so cute? And it's like he's cute, man, And he just walks up and he sees an empty seat next to a window, which he likes, because you can see the trees from the outside, and he just sits there, and people don't tell him that that's Naruto's seat, and then Naruto walks in. And he sees a kid on his seat. He's like, "What are you doing on my seat?" And Rico's like, I didn't know this was your seat. I'm new here." And Naruto's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Naruto Uzumaki." And Rico's just, "I'm Riku." And Naruto's waiting for, Rico's like, it's Uzumaki Naruto. So Naruto's like, "What about your, first name?" He's like, Riku is my friend. "What about your clan name?" Like, "I don't have a clan." Oh, and then that's all he says. But, he just goes like, "If you really want my clan name, then she." It's like Rikushi, Shi, meaning death. More quickly, that, meaning death. And he's like, "Okay, so you come from the Shi clan." It's like, this is no, like, I just made that up. That's my clan name now. I never had a real family. I was in the foster care since I was born, so it's like, just like, really, my parents died. And we were like, well, I don't know what happened to my parents, but I'm guessing that they abandoned me because I was dropped out at an orphanage. And so, like, you can have the tea. He sits down. He sits next to him. He's like, okay. And they became Riku and Naruto sort of become friends. They have a similar past. So they talk. They don't hate each other. Like, they're friendly, but they're not best of friends, They can tolerate each other, and they talk, and they have similar paths. So they get along well. And so the girls, Sakura, being annoying, she invites the guys who are hot and cool. And she walks up to Riku. It's like, "Hi, I'm Sakura." And Riku sees the Naruto's like looking at her, and he thinks, Sakura like that Naruto like Sakura. So Riku being friendly and not even interested in the girl, says, "I'm Riku. Nice to meet you." And so, and then all the girls, and then right before Sakura started talking more, all the girls like Ino and the other Hinata came, but she just wanted to look to Naruto. There's only a couple people that Riku found attractive. It was Ino and Hinata. And Riku can tell that Hinata had a crush on Naruto, and Naruto didn't notice because he had a crush on Sakura. And so he was only left with one option. It was Ino. So he asked, "What's your name?" And Ino responded, "Ino," and then her last name, which I do not know because I didn't have the time, didn't really care. I don't even know Sakura's last name. So, gets flustered by a cute guy, a cute boy asking her name, and he just keeps talking to me, making all of the girls jealous, except Sakura. She's like, I still have Sasuke, and she's more interested in Riku now because Riku actually pays attention to her. Riku is a bit of a mad lad, okay? He he was alone for 7 years, okay? His birthday's on August 8th, and so he was alone for 7 years, maybe 8, and so so he wanted some company, and so he just with Naruto were his friends, yeah, and because Naruto friends became friends with you know uh Riku. Riku liked Shikamaru because they both had similar personalities. Riku didn't like doing the work that he never had to. He doesn't need to, and they were both a bit lazy. Shikamaru was more lazier than Riku. Riku, he does the things he needs to do, and doesn't let her drag. He just does them. No complaints. He just does them. Okay, now time skip. Time skip to the graduation exams. This time Naruto. Okay, Naruto does steal the scroll, but no wait, go back. I forgot about that part. A couple months later, they're still in, Riku's still 11, and Ruka Sensei wanted to find out how strong Riku is. Just, makes Sasuke and Riku spar to show the new year, the 8-year-olds to see what they're gonna learn. And so everyone's conflicted. Most of the girls don't know what to say. It's like, should we go for Sasuke or Riku? Should we vote for that handsome nice guy who's also very cool, or for Sasuke, the one who never talks to us and ignores us, but is super hot and cool? And so some people are like, no brainer, let's go for Riku, the one who actually pays attention. Riku is considered okay most times. And, so Riku and Sasuke spar, and then they go at it in Taijutsu. Riku, not even going full out, going like 5% of his power. In my opinion, he's like SS rated, maybe even a triple S. Blaze had a nickname for him. They called him the Grim Reaper. Even Kuruma calls him that. He's like, hey, Grim. At least they call him Grim. He's like, hey, Grim. And it's like, yeah, that's his new nickname. Blaze and Kuruma call him Grim, short for Grim Reaper. And because he has a scythe, and he has a mask that looks like the Grim Reaper, and he has a hoodie, so like Grim Reaper. And it made sense. They could also call him Reaper, but Grim sounded better. And so, Riku and Sasuke start sparring, going taijutsu. Riku doesn't know a lot of taijutsu. He has a lot of physical strength, but doesn't know a lot of taijutsu. But he's learning along the way. The more times he fights, the stronger he becomes. He picked that up because he needed to. If he took the same strength every time he beat a monster, he would never survive. So every time he fought one, he had to adapt to the monsters quick. The monsters were like, they were some similar, each monster was, some monsters were a species, they had like 10 or 20 of them in the dungeon. Some were unique, some were not. And so he had to adapt to their abilities quick. And if one monster, he adapted quick. But let's say there was 20, eventually their abilities would just be unaffected. He had to quickly learn and become immune to their abilities. Not immune, like he had to learn how to dodge and their timing and the quirks about the beasts. And so as more time goes on, Sasuke and Riku are still fighting in taijutsu. The longer the fights go on, the better Riku's getting. And let's say 5 minutes in, Riku just is getting better and better at taijutsu. As the more taijutsu Sasuke teaches, it's like Sasuke teaching Riku taijutsu. and it keeps going, and then Riku gets bored of this. He learns all of the taijutsu moves Sasuke knows, and he gets bored, and he goes 20% and just knocks Sasuke on the ground, which Sasuke barely recovers from, and does a hand seals for fireball jutsu, and then Riku just lets the fireball hit him, and unaffected he comes out of the fire and just flicks Sasuke in the forehead, sending him back. And then Iruku sees that Sasuke is unconscious, and Riku's like, "Oops, I didn't mean to hit him that hard," and and then Riku calls the match. It's like, "Wait a Riku, now time skip to the time, but to graduate." Riku passes no problem. Naruto in this version is a bit stronger. Sasuke is also a bit stronger. He trained more so he could beat Riku, which he will never beat him because he doesn't have magic. And so, time for the graduation exams, and Naruto, the same thing happens to Naruto, but this time, Riku's first in his class, Sasuke's second, Ino's third. Who knew, right? And because Ino was third, I don't remember if she was second in her class, but for the purpose, she tried harder. Naruto is a bit stronger, just a bit, but he still Sugar Scroll because music good. He still passed. He still has the Nine Tails disrupting his chakra. And so Mizuki helps him. Mizuki convinces Naruto to steal the scroll for him. And Riku finds this out. And he's like, he tricked him. He finds Naruto, and it's like, and Riku's like, why did you steal this scroll? Isn't it supposed to be important? And breaking the law stainless. And Naruto's like, what? It is? And then Naruto tells Riku about wedding. When Mizuki told him that you learn jutsu from here, I'll pay you, he'll let me pass. And Riku's in his, I'm gonna call him Grim for his nickname, Grim, listen to a story inside his head thinking Mizuki tricked him, and Naruto's like, you wanna learn some jutsus? And Grim was like, not in his head, like, this could be the chance for me to get even stronger. It's just like, sure, and just looks at all the things, like, not all the things, Mizuki gets that before, he only sees the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and a part of the Flying Raijin, and a bit, and that's it. Like, and he can learn learn anything more. And Mizuki's just there, and he stabs Riku in the hand. Well, he was about to stab him in the heart, but Riku stops it, and he sees blood, and he gets mad, and he opens his pocket and gets out his scythe, and knocks out Naruto, like knocks him out. So he doesn't see what he's about to do. He pulls up his mask, which only covers like his mouth and not the eyes. He pulls over his hood from a jacket, and then that's when he goes crazy. Not crazy, but he lets out a bloodlust so intense that made Mizuki pee his pants. I'm serious. Like, if you were there, like a bear or a monster would just run away, and Mizuki didn't have the strength to run away, so he just cowered in fear, saying, "Please don't kill me. I don't do anything. Please." And Riku's not having them. He's like, "You will dare hurt the Grim Reaper, mortal?" Just saying this thing because he actually thinks he's the Grim Reaper sometimes, but it's fun. He's making a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still funny and stuff like that, but he likes killing now. More bloodthirsty and eviler, like more cold. And so he just laughs maniacally, like ha ha ha. But more like a villain laugh, like creeping you out and giving you the chills and goosebumps. And basically just, please don't kill me. How much? And he's like, if you hurt me, Orochimaru will come after you. And Rick was like, I don't know who this Orochimaru is, but he can't. But if he tries to kill me, I'll kill him first. And then right after, the scythe cuts off Mizuki's head. And then an Ambu gets there, noticing what just happened. And he just hides in the shadows, takes the scroll seedling, and he just runs and, takes the scroll. And, and in that moment, the Ambu knew that if he tried anything, that he was gonna die. That's how bad the bloodlust is. It wasn't so. Music wasn't Chunin. He was an Ambu. There's a difference. He experiences bloodlust at, like, a lot of times, so he didn't pee his pants or he didn't freeze up like Music did. He knew what true power was, and he saw it in Riku. And Riku found his presence and turned around, and the Ambu looked at his eyes for a second as he was running, and he noticed that those eyes didn't care who they were killing. Just lifeless, cold eyes, like the eyes of a killer, of a person who could kill their own baby without blinking an eye twice. Riku's not that cold. He just looks like that after killing so many monsters. He wouldn't kill. He he wouldn't kill his own child or like foster. He still has a heart. He only kills people that wronged him or deserve it. And so he's like the Ring Reaper. And so now Naruto wakes up and Riku's not there anymore, thinking that it was just a dream. But then he's like, no, it wasn't a dream because he's on the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And the next day, the sorry, that's never mind. Uh, and and then tomorrow, Riku got back to home, and before Naruto woke up, he got back to his home and started reading that grimoire, learning some healing magic, which really didn't even seem that useful because he rarely gets injured unless he lets someone get injured. He lets himself do so. He sees that cut in the sand regenerating, and he's thinking, well, I mean, I'm about to become a ninja. And what if my teammates get injured? Like he's being considerate. He's a nice kid, and so he learns that. And he also learns some jutsus from the other book, and learn photographic memory helps a lot in that. He looks at it and he's like, I'll do this later. So he goes to sleep on the floor with a pillow and a blanket. And so the next day, and so he wakes up around like 5 a.m. and he just goes for a jog. Yeah, he's staying in shape, and then he goes back to sleep because he doesn't have to be to the academy till later today. So he goes up to sleep and say, I don't know what time you're supposed to get to the academy, but let's say later. He meets there, and they're assigning teams. They're assigning teams. And Riku's like thinking about what the team and if it's balanced or not, but they couldn't find another place for it. So this team 7 doesn't have Sakura. Thank God, the useless person she is. Nah, I'm just kidding. They do have Sakura. Well, they made the teams up because by that thing, they were expecting some people just stay the same they were. But they weren't expecting Riku, to show up. They didn't expect another person to just join that fast, And so they had to make a 4-man team, a 5-man, including the Jonin. And so he's like, will this be balanced? But they couldn't find other people to do it with. And so, they just do that. And, so they just have to. So you just have to make a 4-getting squad. And the team 7 is Riku, and by class, it's Riku, Sasuke, Naruto, then Sakura, because Sakura can't even touch. She has better grades than him, but she isn't stronger. We're going by power levels here. It's Riku, Sasuke, Naruto, then Sakura. Uselessness. And Riku doesn't like that Sakura in their team. He's like, we have uselessness. Riku's twice. Riku is still human. He still hates some people. And he's like, when he hates someone, he's mean. Like, mean. And he walks up to Sakura. And Sakura's happy that she has 2 of the hottest guys in the thing. And Riku just walks up to her. And it's like, why do we you need to be on our team? You're useless. And Sakura just feels hurt by this. And she's like, she tries to pull it off, like, haha, that's very funny. And it's like, and Riku just didn't get to know about this. It's like, it's like, she's thinking this is a joke. She's useless. And Kuma's like, and Kuma being nice, Kuma's like, you just can't say this about her now. Pretend to switch over. It's like, yeah, I don't think it was that funny, Sakura. I'm not very good with jokes. Lying, like, and learns, like, yeah, that wasn't one of your best jokes. Other jokes are way funnier. And, having having a mad look in his face. I'm like, why did you have to stop me, Kuma? Like, Grim, you can't be that mean. And you just, like, fine. So then Kakashi gets there late, and being Kakashi says this one quote, like, sorry, I got lost on Path of Life, something like that. And he's like, meet me in the roof. And Kakashi bought a flickers, and then Riku bought a flickers, leaving an after image in his place. And then, and they get there, and Kakashi's surprised that Riku got there before he did, because she's a little suspicious about where this boy come from, and how is he faster than me. And Riku's, just sitting there, waiting for the other people to get there. And they get there, and then Kakashi asks them for their goals, and, and their dreams, and dislikes and dislikes. Riku goes up, my likes are... He said no, he never had many likes. All he did, while he was getting beaten and mistreated, he got food, but never got any good food. And then he was, in a dungeon for most of his life. And in his goals, he doesn't know. It's like, I guess, and Kakashi's like, what's your goal? And Riku, like, I guess, becoming stronger. And that's, like, he doesn't have a real answer. It's like, and then Sasuke says the same bull emo shit he says. And he's like, I have a certain someone I have to kill. And then Sakura says the same shit she says, Naruto says, I'm gonna become Hokage, and yada, yada, yada. But then she says, like, tomorrow, don't eat, you'll puke. And getting them in the morning. And it's like, okay. And then Sasuke being Sasuke, doesn't like anyone being stronger than him. He's like, and doesn't say anything, he's just jealous and hates Riku. So Naruto and Riku just walk off, being buddy. And Sakura just said for Sasuke because she still loves that emo prick who's trying to kill her. Oh, never mind. Not yet, that hasn't happened. Oh, my voice, my throat hurts. This is my first time doing this, so my throat hurts. And so, Naruto and Riku leave, and he's like, Naruto's like, you want some ramen? And Riku just checks his pocket, and his money's like, sure. And then he eats some Ichiraku ramen, and Riku really likes it. That's his first time even eating it. He's only been back for like 9 months. He hasn't eaten anything, made by other people. He's eaten animals from the forest. The population is a bit scarce these days. And, and then it's the next day, Riku gets there late because, he was tired, sort of. It's like, Kuma's like, you'll be late. And like, nah, I'll be fine. But he took us there. And then before even, he doesn't appear, randomly. He doesn't body flicker. He's like, he teleports with his shadow, thing. And he uses Naruto's shadow and teleports there. Assuming that Naruto would be there. He teleports there, and then, he gets there, and they're wondering, when did you get there? It's like, I just got here. Then Kakashi gets there late as ever. Riku didn't even eat breakfast, he just woke up. He didn't have the time, because he thought it was going to be late, but then he figured, and then he wasn't late, actually really early. Kakashi got there late. He says, sorry, I got lost in the path of life. Because she explains the bell test and chose 3 bells because there's 4 people now. And explains that one of you is gonna go back to the academy. And Riku's like, oh. And he's like, oh, this makes sense. There's 4 of us, and there's usually just 3 getting in a squad. So I said, this makes sense in his head. And then Kakashi explains about tests and yada yada yada. And then, Kakashi says start. Riku teleports on using the shadow of the tree, teleports in the tree. To the tree, and Kakashi doesn't know where he went. But Kakashi doesn't have time to focus on that. Well, he does, sort of. He's still reading the book. Naruto charges at him using the shackle and the same thing. And then Riku sees that he's about to get, Ambu technique, 1,000 years of pain. And then Riku just jumps in and unlocks his magic seal, making everything more enhanced. His speed, his senses, his strength, his lessen his mana consumption, making the spells more powerful. And then, not even holding back. He was just seeing how strong Kakashi was. Pulls out his scythe, about to chop off Kakashi's head. And Kakashi pulls out the shotgun just in time. Not the shotgun, sorry. He sees it just in time and ducks out of the way, noticing that, Riku didn't use most of his power to try and he just, so he stopped it just right before, Kakashi got decapitated. In that moment, Kakashi, ran. Learning that, the activates his Sharingan. And they go on a taijutsu battle. Riku actually tried using 80% of his power. Using 80% of his power, and he's going in a taijutsu battle with Kakashi. Kakashi is beating him for now, pushing back. But as the longer goes on, Kakashi notices that Riku is adapting to his moves, learning them, getting faster, getting more adept with taijutsu. And then Kakashi's using one of the jutsus, and it's a firestorm, because I think that he's using a fireball, and Riku just lets it happen, lets himself get hit, and nothing happens because he's immune to the chakra nature these has. The only ones that work are water and wind, which way doesn't Kakashi that. And then he does the same thing, does the fireball jutsu, and infusing it with a bit of mana, making it stronger. Not even a spell, just a normal jutsu. His spells don't require hand signs. And then this Kakashi barely dodges this, burning bits of his clothes, even with Sharingan activated. And then Riku, teleports behind him using Rainbow's shadow, and he's about to use his pyrokinetics, about to set Kakashi on fire, and he was about, and then Kakashi just turns around and hits him in his chest, and pushing Riku a bit back, and this hurts Riku, and then he goes, a bit, not really, he hasn't seen the blood, but he gets a bit annoyed about this, and he goes even faster, even though his seal was already, he was only using 80, no, less than that. I said 80 before, correct me. He was using 50, but now he's using 80, and Kakashi can't even keep up. He's like, where is this? And then right before Riku cuts off Kakashi's head with his scythe, he stops and then just puts the scythe behind Kakashi's neck, on the back of his neck, and Riku says, "You would be dead if I didn't stop." And Kakashi's shocked by this. He didn't know. And then Riku notices that and just chops off the head. And it's just a shadow clone. And then he just looks at, Kakashi. He wasn't really focused on assessing another person. He was focused on Kakashi. Well, sort of focused on Kakashi. And then he, looks at the bush where Kakashi was. And then Riku's behind him. And Kakashi's shocked. He's looking at him. And he's like a shadow clone. And then Riku does the same thing, having the scythe back of his legs, takes the bells, and then just says, I pass, giving 1, 2, then just takes one bell. 2 bells, actually. Gives one to Naruto, and keeps one for himself, and then he leaves. It's like, I'll be back when you're done with, when someone over there gets the bells, and he just, and then just, while he flickers away. Usually he would use the shadow, but like, he doesn't really want to show someone his ability, so he's right away. And deactivates the seal, and Kakashi's just amazed, shocked, leaving Kakashi shocked. Sasuke, this gives chance to Sasuke to get a bell, and then that's really it. And then and he's like, and he's not even focusing on the test, and he just thinks, what level is he moving from getting? He's at least Chunin rank. At least Chunin rank. S rated ninja. At And then after the battle test, ties up Sakura, and he's about to send Sakura back to, he was about to send Sakura back to the academy because he wasn't joking. There's 4 people on this, but then he's like, I'll give you a chance. Kakashi's like, being in a good, not in a good mood, being, enthusiastic, or something, not enthusiastic, just, just, not even caring, but if you have an extra person, it's like, it won't even matter, he's stronger than I am, I doubt I'd be able to teach him anything. It's like, I'll take care of it. It's like, you passed too, and it's a 4-10 team. And then later that day, Kashi walks into the third office, and he's talking about who is that kid, and Lord Thor is like, who? He's like, that kid who really that he's just thinking about his name. He can't remember it. He's like, Riku. There it is, Riku Shi, and Shi Riku. And Lord Thor is like, what do you mean? And Kakashi's like, he's stronger than me, maybe an SSS rated ninja. And Naruto is like shocked about hearing this. Like, really? Are you sure, Kakashi? And Kakashi says, yes. Even with my Sharingan, I couldn't keep up with him, and I feel like he was holding back. He was a lot. He didn't even use most of his. He literally just used physical strength and skill. He only used the fireball jutsu and teleporting, behind shadows and stuff like that. Maybe he has pyrokinesis and other other kinesis. He's OP, like seriously OP. But he can't kill anyone, he can't just touch someone and kill them, which would make him even more OP. And she's like, are you sure? And then Naruto is like, call this kid right away. And then Anambu, appears and Riku's front door knocks. Like, not even knock, goes to the window or something. And then he's like, Naruto wants an audience with you. And Riku, body flickers with body flickers with him, even though he could use the shadow, but he doesn't want to shock an old man giving him a heart attack. So, body flickers, and he, right in front of the door, he walks in, and then Naruto is like, it's you. And he goes like, it's you, the guy from when I was eating my rabbit. And he's like, where were you for the 7 years? And it was like, I was kidnapped. I was in a cave fighting monsters that time, I think. And he's like, you think? Like, yes, I think he was in a cave. I fought a lot of monsters there. I got I had to fight to survive. It was kill or be killed there. And what? And he's like, you're being promoted to SSS rated, and seeing that you were able to beat Kakashi with no problems at all. And like, well, what do you want for your nickname or something like that? It's like the Grim Reaper. And in the next couple months, and that's what his name is. Like, put him in the book. So Naruto, put him SS rated, and okay. And then Riku just walks off. And Naruto's like, I can't believe we have someone this strong in our village. I feel like if he wanted to, he could kill all of us, which Riku could. And so for the next month or two, they were doing D-rank missions. Riku didn't really participate. He was too bored to do anything. And then he goes to Zoodlord third. He's like, give us an S-rated mission. And like, I can't do that. You're getting. And it's like, then what's the point of being an S-rated ninja? But you're still technically a Genin. Like, oh, like I'll give you an S, I'll give you a C, right? And then this is where Tazuna comes in, and Kasuna is like making fun of Naruto and Sakura. The only people he doesn't make fun of are Sasuke and Riku, which Riku gives off this vibe like, don't mess with me or you die. So he's a little hesitant to talk with, Riku will be like, hi, I'm Riku, making shocking Kazuna, thinking that this kid was, harsher, meaner, more, but he was a pretty good kid for, having that aura around him. And he's like, are you sure these will be enough to protect me? And Riku's like, I'm more than enough, including me and him are more than enough. These three are just extra help. Making Sasuke mad. Naruto's like, you don't have to be that mean about it. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it to come that way. And then this, soothes Naruto's from, being mean about it. And then, Tazuna walks off, about to go on the mission. And so we're gonna end it off. Part 1 of What If I Was a Naruto and Had Magic. Thank you for watching.